Okay guys, so this is my countertop. As you can see, I don't have a ton of room. I just have one countertop. I don't have an island or anything. Our kitchen is older. We have an older home and it was built before large kitchens were like the thing to have. And I would love to have a larger kitchen, of course, but I just learned to make this work. So I'm going to share with you just some things that I do and hopefully you'll find it helpful. First of all, I think it's really important that we remove the things that don't belong on our kitchen countertops. Just anything there that shouldn't be there, just start, maybe give yourself like 15 minutes a day if you have a lot of clutter, and just start putting things away where they go. If you have a lot of junk mail, throw it away. Bills, keep your bills in a bill folder, and I can show you how we do our, organize our paperwork in another video, but just start by eliminating the clutter on your countertops and you'll have a lot more space. And also when you come into your home, don't just throw your things on the countertop, have a spot for them. And I'm going to show you just how I keep things so that it doesn't get piled up and disorganized. So let me go ahead and get started. I think of my countertop as prime real estate. So I try to make it look nice and, have things that match the rest of the kitchen because, we want it to be pleasing to look at, but it also has to function. So of course there are going to be things on the countertop because we need to access them quickly when we're cooking and things like that. So in my corner, I have this basket. I only have a couple drawers, so I don't have a junk drawer, and I don't really like junk drawers personally because it's hard to find things. So I have this, and it has, what people would probably normally keep in their junk drawer, but this is from Crate and Barrel, and they have these all over the place, but it's a napkin and utensil holder, but I just like the way the slots were divided up so I can keep things from being in a big jumbled mess. So I have this in the corner, and it has just different notepads, post-it notes, so I can just grab those and find them quickly. I have a spot for pencils and pens and scissors, because in our house, if we didn't have these in here, which we used to not have them in there, and everyone was always looking for the scissors, so if we just keep them in there, then they're easy to find. And I keep my cell phone in here and the charger right in there. And right behind this basket is an electrical outlet, so I can just charge my phone right in the basket. And I try to remember to always put my phone in this basket so that I can find it when I need to leave the house, or if we didn't put it in one spot, we would always be losing it. And that way it's just right here. And I also remember to charge it because the charger is right there with it. Also in here I have this pretty journal that my son bought me, and I use it to kind of jot down ideas. So I'm often in my kitchen, so it makes sense for me to keep it right there in my kitchen. And then I also have our address book. And I keep it in here because that's where I use it. If I'm writing out a birthday card or something, it's usually in here, so it just makes sense to have it here. But obviously if you want to keep it in a drawer in a desk or something, then that would make sense. I'm just showing you what works for me. And then I have my knives in a block. I know some people keep them in drawers and everything, but I just don't have room. I only have a couple drawers, so I have that on my counter, and I can easily grab a knife when I'm cooking. And then I really like to keep my utensils in a pitcher or a canister on my counter instead of having to dig through a drawer to find them. So I do keep most of them in here. I have some in a drawer, but most of them are in here. And I just found this pitcher at Pier 1, and I have a couple different things in this pattern, so I just thought it looked pretty. They make very plain canisters for your utensils, but if you are going to purchase something, there's no problem with getting something pretty for it, right? So I also recommend, you don't have to go out and buy a bunch of new things or anything like that, but if you are purchasing utensils, or if you need to replace a couple of them at some point, I would recommend getting them all in one color. I obviously have black, and I just think it looks nice instead of having multiple colors in there on the countertop. Of course, if that doesn't bother you, you can get whatever you want, but I bought some yellow ones at one point, and I just didn't like the way it looked in there with like mostly black ones and then yellow ones and then, you know, different colors. So that's just a tip if that's something that, you know, you didn't think of and that would bother you, is just to keep them all in one color. And then over here, obviously hand soap, right there on the counter, just easy to use. That makes sense, obviously. And then my mother-in-law bought me this pretty canister that matches some other things in my kitchen, and this is from Pier 1 also. And because our family uses a lot of rice, I just keep my rice in here. And I don't have room to keep all of my canisters on my countertop, so they're in my pantry. But because we use a lot of rice, I just keep it right in there, and it's easy to measure, and I don't have to get anything out of the pantry or anything. So that is just a good use of that pretty canister. And then we don't have a fancy coffee maker, but it does its job, and we just keep our coffee maker here because we use it every day. And then just to kind of keep things pretty, I have a picture. This is an old picture of my boys. They were little guys there, but I just like that because it kind of goes with everything. And so you can see there isn't a ton of things on my countertop, but I just like to keep the things out that I'm going to use regularly. Now, I would like to have my toaster and blender on my countertop because we do use those fairly regularly, but I just keep those up in a low cabinet so we can just take them out and put them on the countertop. So just think about the things that you use often, and if you don't have room on your countertop, maybe just keep it in a low cabinet so you can get it very easily. And then another thing that people have on their countertops a lot is just maybe like fruits and vegetables that you, I'm going to try to move over here, fruits and vegetables that you are trying to let ripen or whatever, you don't know where to put them and they can't go in the fridge. Well, on our table, I have 2 baskets, and if you have room, you could obviously keep a pretty basket on your countertop, but we just don't have room. And I kind of just like having it here because it's the only food we see in our kitchen, so we're more likely to eat our fruit and vegetables instead of other snacks. But I just have one for fruit, and then one for, you know, vegetables, tomatoes and cucumbers, and then sometimes peppers and garlic and stuff like that. But you get the point. And so you just want to make things look nice, but function. So give it a try. First, start getting rid of the things that don't belong on your countertop. Find a spot for your bills. Throw away junk mail, and just try not to place things on your countertop throughout the day that don't go there. If you come in with the mail, just throw away the junk mail before it hits the counter. Or if you have papers from your kids' school, have a bulletin board. I'm not going to show you because it does have phone numbers and things like that, and I just want to keep, you know, my kids' school private. But on the back of our kitchen door, I have a huge bulletin board. It was actually here when we moved in, but that's where I keep all of the papers that I am going to need and that I need to see, and I can access them very quickly. So just keep that idea in mind, just a huge bulletin board right on the back of the door, and no one can even see it. I mean, it wouldn't really matter if they did, but it's right there. And that is I was like, yay, when I saw that, because it's just a nice thing to have. So that's the kitchen countertop, and I am going to do more videos on drawers and cabinets and pantry and different things like that. So if you would like to see more videos, please subscribe to my channel, How Jen Does It. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching.